Hello friend, I'm Dani Walker. Welcome to this episode. Today we're going to be talking about the gowns that we didn't see on the stage at Miss Universe for finals. This episode is brought to you by Rehearsed to Relatable. This is where pageant contestants can learn how to be memorable in the interview by creating a personal brand, so just click the description below for more information. If you're brand new to my channel, I hope that you will consider subscribing and hit that notifications bell so you know whenever new episodes are posted. I've never done an episode like this before, but I felt really inspired this year because there were some contestants who many thought would make it into a top 21 that didn't. We thought that we were gonna see them in the top 10 for evening gown and didn't. And also these gowns are just too beautiful not to showcase and give some recognition to the team, the designers, and of course the queens who would have potentially worn them. They're just so beautiful and I wanna talk about them because also they could have been an option for the preliminary competition as well. So let's take a look at some options that these queens had. This was the finals night gown for Nepal, and she was in my preliminary picks. This is a really beautiful sheer gold gown, very stunning, but the style for me is very simple. Although it's gorgeous, I prefer her preliminary gown style. I thought that that one was a lot more unique and really made her stand out. So actually, if she were to wear this on finals night, I think that my feedback would have been I miss her preliminary gown, but it is beautiful nonetheless. This is Miss USA's final gown, and I've talked about this a lot. I feel like in the US in recent years, boy, we have really struggled with gowns and styling, and I think that we need to really start branching out. So although I did prefer this gown to her preliminary night gown, I still didn't feel like it really would have been enough on stage for finals. It really wouldn't have created much of a memorable impact with her wardrobe and styling, although I do prefer it, and I think this red does look very beautiful on her. And red seems to be the color that we revert to a lot in the US. I feel like we've had so many Miss USAs that wear red to the competition, so it was kind of interesting to see that red hit the stage again. Canada ended up competing in the preliminary competition with a Colombian designer's gown, which was stunning. This gown was also worn by Miss Cartagena in the Miss Colombia pageant, and I don't actually think it was the exact same gown because a subtle detail and difference here is that it's an ombre gown. The bottom is pink and then it gets white towards the top. And that's not something that I noticed in prelims until later when I watched it back and saw images. So really, really stunning gown, one of my favorites with this waterfall beading. But apparently, which you can check out in another episode, there were some things that went down and happened with her wardrobe options. She had a different gown by Michael Cinco that apparently she was supposed to wear. She actually had a different gown created by Michael Cinco that was one of her options for prelims. Beautiful, beautiful blue gown, very stunning. I'm not sure how they would have styled it, but still gorgeous. And then an incredible yellow gown for finals that she actually wore for finals, but as you know, didn't compete during finals. Honestly stunning, and I really wish we could have seen her compete in this yellow one, even if it was for the preliminary competition. It was just so incredible and stunning. South Africa, I know so many of you are heartbroken that we didn't get to see Natasha compete for finals because she's just so beautiful and such an incredible representative. I love this gown that she chose for finals. It's definitely the type of change I wanted to see. It was just so beautiful and classic and elegant. I love that you can actually see between the beading on this gown, on the sleeve and throughout the entire body of it. I thought it was beautiful. It's just interesting. I felt like her looks overall for evening gown this year were styled rather dark. I was surprised in the weeks and months leading up to the pageant when she went from a brunette to a brunette that was almost like a jet black color. I felt like that was a little bit harsh for her features, and I actually wanted to see her go back to a lighter color. And then to see her in very, very dark evening gowns is not really what I expected for her for Miss Universe, but nonetheless, I do still really love this black evening gown, and I would have loved to have seen this for prelims and for finals.
Hi, Miss South Africa. Can you tell us about your favorite family vacation?
Family vacation, I would say, stays in the heart of South Africa, which is Cape Town. This is actually the last vacation I had before my father passed away, so it's special memories that I'll forever keep with me and forever share with him.
Colombia had this stunning gold gown for finals, and it really reminds me of the frames on Renaissance paintings. These gold textured details were just so beautiful. They remind me of things that you would see, like I said, on frames in a palace or somewhere in a castle, and I loved that about it. It was stunning on her. It was fitted to her perfectly, and we got to see it during rehearsals, but unfortunately not during the finals. Rabiya's gown for finals was orange, which is a very unusual color in pageants. It was called the Sarimanak gown. I apologize if I am mispronouncing that. I do not know the translation, but it is supposed to represent her warmth and passion for being a Filipina, and I thought that that was really beautiful. The details on this gown are stunning. It was gorgeous. There's like feathers at the bottom. It's so, so beautiful. I personally would have loved to have seen a different neckline though on this gown. I felt like the neckline on it was very 90s, and I know that we do see a lot of 90s styles nowadays, but I felt like they really covered her up in this dress. And I wanted to see it a little bit sexier, but regardless of that, it was very, very beautiful on her. Now, I do want to say though that I prefer her prelims gown. And after my prelims recap, many people were surprised that I liked her gown, and I feel like this gown did not get the appreciation it needed. Just take a look at it. I didn't notice until later that the cape, the sort of cape train behind it, it has white and then it turns into yellow, and it was gorgeous. Just look at this footage of it. I love that it is a really unique shape. And the front of it was very classic, and it had sort of like a vintage neckline. The color popped. It was covered in stones. I personally am a really big fan of this gown. I think it was stunning, and the earrings to go with it, like she's the sun, just was everything, and I loved it. And I was just so surprised that actually a lot of people didn't love this gown, because for me it was a hit. And I actually think I prefer it to the orange one. I'm a real big fan of the yellow one. Vietnam also chose an orange gown for finals. It was called the Rebirth, and the meaning was, wherever there is love, there is rebirth. I strongly believe that love is like the sun, bringing the rebirth of life. Very true, right? Like, you need the sun for growth in life, just like plants in a field, and just like in our lives, right? Even humans, we need that sunlight for our happiness and for our well-being. So this is stunning, but the style of this gown actually, for me, it looks a little bit more like a grand international style of gown if there was more cleavage in the gown, because I feel like that's kind of what takes the grand international gowns to another level, is that they're very, very sexy, and the sexiness we see there, we don't see at Miss Universe. So this was very Miss Universe styling, but the gown was very, very beautiful on her. This is stunning, and I think it would have been a great change. Like, I loved her prelims gown because of the movement of it, but this would have looked phenomenal on stage for finals. Totally agree with the pick for this. Miss Myanmar, this broke my heart. Along with her national costume being lost, she also lost her evening gown. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? Ladies who've competed, can you imagine if you were going to Miss Universe and your dream gown was lost? Oh gosh, like, I would have been crying. I'm pretty sure I would have cried. But she handled it really well. She still competed very well and looked stunning on stage. But this gown, oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. I haven't even seen how it actually looks. I've just seen images of it. But I can imagine how incredible it looked on stage, and I know it would have been one of my favorite gowns of the competition, especially on her. It was fitted to perfection. It was incredible. I am so sad we did not get to see her compete in this, and I potentially think that it could have changed placements. She's stunning in this. Wow. Oh. Love it. Oh my gosh. So for prelims, Indonesia wore a green gown. It was really, really beautiful. It was unique. It fit her perfectly. She stunned. Obviously, she made it into that top 21, right? But this finals gown was gorgeous, gorgeous. I remember during finals when I saw her walked out and I noticed her after they announced the top 10, and I was like, this is why I would have put you in a top 10. Oh my gosh, I was right. You would have brought it. You really would have brought it. But this gown is stunning. And let me explain the meaning behind it. It's called Stardust, and this gown is inspired by the ethereal sparkling splinters of stars, giving dreamlike and romantic feelings of magic with a mix of shimmering gold and silver. As Ayu proceeds to Miss Universe, which is compared to as full of stardust, we wish that she could shine bright like the stars for Indonesia. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. My gosh, look at the trend here too. We saw several gowns that had gloves. So South Africa, Czech Republic, and then Indonesia would have had this for finals. I'm not sure if I'm missing others off the top of my head, but interesting trend that we're seeing. But this gown was incredible. And I remember wondering when I saw her during swimsuit, why did she switch to a curled hairstyle instead of the straight? I preferred the straight hairstyle for swim, but you don't have much time during finals, so you have to pick and choose. And so I feel like this gown is obviously the reason that she curled her hair for swimsuit. And I loved the curled hairstyle. I love the styling of this. It was just stunning. I'm just so sad we didn't get to see her in a top 10, but gorgeous nonetheless. This gown would have been a showstopper on stage, especially with her walk and how she can carry it. Wow. Man. Those were gowns we didn't get to see. I'm sure that there were more of them, but these were the ones that I was able to find clips and pictures of online, and I just wanted to give my appreciation for the teams that it took to put these together and recognize them and the contestants who wore them or were going to wear them, because I know so much work goes into it, and I'm bummed out that we didn't get to see it on the telecast. But since I have the opportunity to share these with you, I wanted to take advantage of that. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode and appreciated it. I love it. If you want to see more like this, leave your requests in the comments below. I appreciate you for joining me for this episode and for supporting the channel. Guys, we hit 70,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh. We hit it on the finals of Miss Universe, so I'm not gonna forget that day. That was a really special day for me and of course for our new Miss Universe. So I was really excited about that. I just want to say thank you all for your support and for sharing about the channel, and it just means so much to me. So thank you for all of my friends out there who have shared and supported, and if you're brand new, I hope that you're going to join us in this community of supporting contestants. Thank you so much, and I'll see you at the next episode.